Tandem Nomads episode 267. Have you ever taken a moment to reflect on what you're actually doing on the day-to-day basis in your business and your life? And what are you saying yes to all the time, even when you don't want to say yes to, which is causing you to experience less ease and joy in your business? Hello, Nomad Nation. Welcome to Tandem Nomads, the podcast show and entrepreneurship platform where you can find great inspiration and resources to grow a successful portable business and thrive in your global nomadic life, as well as through any transition. This episode is part of a current series that's called the Slow Challenge. And the Slow Challenge is all about helping you grow your business at your own rhythm while regaining joy and clarity in your business, especially if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. It is the time for you to pause, slow down, while still working at your own rhythm on the things that matter in your business. However, if you're listening to this episode and you're not there, you're actually full force into your business and really high energy, this episode will still help you keep working on the important aspects of your business. And today I want to help you reflect on something really, really important, which is what are you saying yes to too often in your business and in your private life that's causing you to experience less ease and growth in your business. In fact, very often as entrepreneur, we are taught that being a great entrepreneur is all about being able to attract opportunities and say yes to all the opportunities that will be able to help you grow your business and keep growing your revenue and attract more clients. So it's all about chasing opportunities. And I think this is the mindset that's leading a lot of people to feel overwhelmed and sometimes to focus on the wrong things. Too often, you might be saying yes to too many things. First of all, in your business, but also in your private life that are causing you to not necessarily have the energy that you need to grow your business. Don't get me wrong, I do believe that entrepreneurship is about opportunities. And by the way, that's the motto of everything I do, turning challenges into opportunities. But being aware of your opportunities, being open to trying out things, doesn't mean that you have to say yes to everything. It means that you are consciously and methodically analyzing what's coming to you and whether you should say yes to it or not, and how you should say yes to it, in which terms. And at the end of the day, this whole series is about making it work for you. I might share so many resources with you, but I think what's important is that you take what you learn as well as the opportunities that come to you, and then you shape them to your needs and to the way that it works for you. And this is really key. So while I'm inviting you to keep looking for opportunities, today's episode is all about getting you to start saying a no to what's not serving you and your business, but also to saying hell yes to the things that bring you joy, that bring you results, and that are serving your priorities and what you value most for your business and for yourself. So I'm going to take you through 4 simple steps to help you do just that. But know that if you really want to take this to the next level, I recommend you to block like half an hour of your time and answer to some of the questions that I've prepared for you so that you can reflect on what are the areas that you need to say no to and what are the areas where you want to say more yes to. So in order to work on this, I invite you to go to the show notes of the episode and download the workbook that I prepared for you with these questions. If you already signed up to the Slow Challenge, you will already receive it in your email box with all the resources of the Slow Challenge. If you haven't signed up to the Slow Challenge, know that you will be signed up to the Slow Challenge when you download this workbook, so you don't need to do anything else than simply download this workbook. Go to tandemnomads.com/267 and you will find those questions for you to reflect on. And here are those 4 steps to consider. The first one is to assess and define clearly what are your priorities and what you value most. How can you know what to say yes to and no to if you don't know what is it for? So you really have to have a very clear direction in what you want to focus on in your business right now, and also what are the other priorities in your life. For example, let's say that you have a family and that you have a child that has special needs that you want to focus on right now, and you can't do everything in your business. Know that that's okay. If you can't give your business full focus and have a member of the family that needs your special attention. So if that's part of your priority, then what you want to know is what are your other small little goals that you can set for yourself in the business so that you can still keep working on your business, keep growing it at a smaller pace, at a slow pace, but still make progress, even if it's at a slower pace than if you had the full energy and bandwidth to focus on it fully. For example, let's say that you have a person to take care of and you still want to be able to work on your business. One of your priorities could, for example, be, which I would recommend, focusing on growing your audience and more specifically your email list. So one of your priorities could be simply creating every 2 weeks a small piece of content and promote your free guide or your free course that you can share on a regular basis by scheduling it so that you can keep growing exposure until you can fully focus on your business. Or another strategy for you could be, okay, you're going to focus on relationships. You already have a list of people and you already have a network. Then you're going to list all the people you want to connect with and maintain relationships with. So you're going to block a consistent amount of time along the time to really build those relationships and grow those relationships. So I already gave you some ideas, but think about you and your business. In your business, what are your priorities considering everything else going on in your life and your business? You need to have that clear so that when an opportunity comes to you, you can easily know if it's aligned with those key priorities you defined or not. Then the second step is to analyze what are you saying yes to way too often in your business and your life that you should say no to. Are you accepting, for example, to hop on calls with a lot of people without having necessarily the time to do all the other things in your business? Are you in your private life taking care of certain home tasks that you could share with a partner or another member of the family? Are you accepting to do things for friends who ask you for favors all the time, cooking for their birthday party or, dropping off someone for them and things like that? Are you all the time the one that people call to ask favors to and that you end up saying yes to all the time? Are you volunteering for a lot of nonprofits or organizations or the school association of parents and taking a lot of time for all these things when it actually is not bringing you much more than a lot of stress and stopping you from having the time to focus on your business? If that's you, it's highly time for you to pause and reflect back at all the things that you're saying yes to. First of all, in the business, and then also think about in your private life. Very often, that's more the things in the private life that come into the way of growing your business. However, you will see through the questions of this workbook, there will probably be also a lot of things in your business that you're saying yes to that you might not need to say yes to and should not say yes to, and rather you need to say no to. For example, hopping constantly on calls with people and staying more than an hour chatting with people without a clear strategy and a clear goal. For instance, if you decide to offer strategic calls or discovery calls if you're a coach to a client and it's 30 minutes, stick to 30 minutes. And by the way, if it's more than 30 minutes, there's something wrong happening in your business. You need to learn how to have quick calls in 30 minutes to know what you need from the client and give them what they need to know they want to work with you. This is really important. So analyze what is happening in your business that you're saying yes to too often, that's taking way too much time and way too much energy. And here, what I want to share with you, and that I know happens all the time, is what is called FOMO, fear of missing out. So if by any chance you're in that place where you don't dare to say no to something because you're afraid of missing out on opportunities, know that it's time for you to, first of all, identify that this is what's happening. And the way you know if it's FOMO or not is when you're tempted to say yes, knowing that it's not aligned with your key priorities of the moment. Which leads to the third step. Once you have listed and analyzed all the things that you're saying yes to, it is time for you to start ditching those tasks, finding a way to either stop doing what you're doing or find a solution to not have to do it anymore or do it differently. But most importantly, this third step is all about starting to say no and practicing saying no. First of all, practicing saying no to yourself by being really strict and clear about what are your priorities, as I said before, and whether or not something is aligned with it. You need to be very clear and very committed to yourself to say no to. But here's also another part that's difficult sometimes is saying no to other people. You need to be able to say a clean no, a clean yes when you want to do something and a clean no when you don't want to do something. And I have a formula for you that you can check out in the workbook where I send you to the link where I describe it more in written. But basically, you need to be, first of all, to be able to give a clean no, you need to be really confident about your decision and not letting FOMO on the way or not letting guilt on the way from stopping you from serving your priorities. So there is a way to say no without feeling guilty, which is a method that I love from Michael Hyatt, which is a prominent consultant in the corporate world. And guess what? Even big decision makers and managers struggle with saying no. And they know that if they don't know how to say no, they will struggle to grow in their roles. So the method is basically yes, no, yes, which means yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm honored. I cannot accept your invitation to do XYZ. And here is what other things you can do instead. Let me give you an example of a situation where I was. There was an online summit happening, and a lot of guests were invited to speak at this online summit. And one of the conditions of this online summit is to participate actively to the promotion of the summit by committing to a certain number of newsletters, certain number of social media posts, and other commitments on top of it. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to do that for the simple reason that it was not aligned with my priorities in my business and my priorities of that time. So it was really hard to realize that I'm going to have to reject this invitation to speak at the summit because I cannot fulfill those conditions. But I had identified that what I was going through was simple FOMO, and I needed to really detract my attention from that fear of missing out and focus on my priorities. So I had answered with a yes, no, yes model, saying, thank you so much for thinking of me. It will be a great honor to participate to this great summit. I have to decline your invitation as I cannot commit to these conditions. And if you would like me to contribute to this event with my content and my expertise without having to participate to the promotion, feel free to let me know. I'll be happy to do so. Now, sometimes this model is not even effective enough and you need to be really, really straightforward. Let's say, for example, you have a friend who wants to use your services for free, then you need to also be very clear about your role. Let's say that somebody calls you to ask you for some advice. I guess if it's a close friends, you can do it. But if at some point it reaches a certain boundary, and ultimately this is all what it's about having clear boundaries in your business and for yourself and for others, you need at some point to stop clearly the asks of the other person by making a clear offer. If somebody asks you for your services for free, you need to be able to say no. And I have actually a whole episode just on that, so I'm going to put it in the show notes of this episode. But one of the things you can do when somebody asks you for questions or asks you, can you please hop on a call I need some advice on XYZ. If you see that it really requires your time and your effort and your energy, then you need to charge for it. And the best way to answer to that is very simple. I would love to help you. Here is the fee that I charge for this. And this is the link if you decide to sign up. As simple as that, right? As simple as that. Instead of saying, no, I can't help you, you say, this is the price that I charge for this kind of services. And this is how you can take action on this offer. There's much more to learn about how to say no when people ask you for your service for free. So check out in the show notes the link to that episode where I go deeper into this. But what it really boils down to is having clear boundaries. And those boundaries, you can only set them when you have clarity on what they are. And therefore, the exercise that I share with you in this episode's workbook, again, you can download it on tandemnomads.com/267. And in this workbook, you will finally get then to the part number 4, which is as important. Knowing what to say yes to and saying yes to the things that serve you. And by that, I mean knowing what brings you joy and what excites you in your business as well as in your life is really important. And to do more of it if you're not already. For more ease, more joy, to feel more connected to your business, you need to be doing things that you actually love doing. Obviously, not everything needs to be fun, right? But I do believe that when we launch a business and grow a business, to be able to stay in for the long haul, we need to have fun through the process. So I want you to be very mindful of looking at what are the activities that you are implementing in your day-to-day business and day-to-day life that are bringing you joy and excitement, but also those that are bringing you real results that you can experience, that you can enjoy, including revenue and money, right? But also the joy of having happy clients, of having great smooth processes for your business, having great collaborations that really bring you joy, but also results in your business. What feels easy and more natural. To get to that point in your business, you need to practice and to experiment. But the more you start seeing patterns that work for you, then stick to them and make sure to not sacrifice those for other things that might feel more shiny, but not bring you results and not bring you ease and not bring you joy. So really be mindful about saying more often yes to things that work for you and that serve you. And that to happen, you need to be really, really clear about your goals, your priorities, and set your boundaries for you to be able to grow your business with more clarity, with more results, and joy. All right, Nomad Nation. So this were the key messages I wanted to share with you in order to create a business that works for you and also grow a business at your own rhythm without getting stressed and overwhelmed. This is an important piece here, knowing when to say no to the things that don't serve you and saying more yes to things that are really aligned with your purpose, with your priorities, with your goals, and the results you want. So don't forget to go to the show notes to find all the resources that I mentioned in this episode, as well as your workbook. Go to tandemnomads.com/267. I can't wait to hear about all the breakthroughs you might be having. The best way to connect with me is by email. When you download your workbook, you will get my email address, or also you can DM me on Instagram. So I'll meet you there, and in the meantime, stay tuned to turn your challenges into great opportunities.